what you drive says a lot about you. Now, people who drive Skodas are generally petrol heads like me, or people who you can have a very intelligent conversation with. And then there is the Kodiaq. It's for people who did not bend to the will of the norm and did not buy an Endeavour or a Fortuner when they wanted a large 7-ish seater SUV. And this is the second generation. It's brand new. We're going to spend a night around town in this to see if it's still the best car for people with high IQ or if this has become too fancy for its own good. Mumbai, my city, my home, and despite what any of you can ever say, in my opinion, the greatest bloody city on the face of the earth. Just is. This city truly never sleeps. Never. You'll always find something happening. You'll always find a place to eat. You'll always find a place to be one with your thoughts. And despite what the current halat of the city is and the attempt to apparently find oil or gold everywhere, you're never too far away from a road that's good fun to drive on. To me, the Kodiaq has always been less about superficial features and more about the way it feels within. All-wheel drive, that fantastic turbo petrol engine, and this fantastic gearbox, which now has a shifter on the right side as a little independent shock. You know, it's no real difference from the last generation, but it's better in almost every single tiny, small little detail. It's got a little bit more power. It feels a little bit more planted, and yet it makes you feel special. And just like Mumbai has multiple sides to it, some dark and grimy, some bright and cheerful, so does the Kodiaq. It molds around you like a car should, in every way you want it to. Say, for example, you've had a very easy-going week and you want a little bit of excitement in your life. It will give you all the excitement you want and then some. But what if you didn't want this excitement? What if you had an exciting week and you wanted a little bit of a cocoon around you to make you feel comfortable, to reduce your heart rate, to make you relaxed? This is what I call a high IQ driving song. Look, don't get me wrong, I love my rap to death and back. I love modern music. But when this sort of stuff comes on my speakers, I turn the volume up, which is perfect for this scenario because this thing packs a really deadly set of speakers. High IQ driving music, ladies and gentlemen, from the mature, not really, Babaji. There is so much going for this car, it's hard to find a negative. Maybe the slight lack of buttons could be one. Maybe the slight drop in plastic quality could be another. But then there is so much more that it makes up for. Take the Spotline trim, for example. That has seats that will make a petrol head jealous. And it has Alcantara everywhere like a 911 GT3 RS. But this is the LNK. This gets this leather. It gets tan leather interiors and gets trim on the dashboard and on the side panels that looks like it's straight out of the Apple playbook. But all of this is still with 7 seats, which means Dada, Mama, the little baby, Dada, Dadi and Nana, Nani can all sit together and go out on a little trip. I wonder who's going to be relegated to the third row though.
And the best part is, it still does all of this while being understated, elegant and classy.
This is the Honda CR-V of a modern age. It's the kind of car old money wants to buy. And old money knows a thing or two about making their money work. Which brings us to our original question. Is this a high IQ car for a high IQ human being? (3:15 a.m.) and I'm at one of my absolute favorite places in Mumbai. It's also extremely underrated in my opinion. It's one of the last public spaces where you can literally stand or sit right by the sea. There are no teleports here, there's no construction happening. It's just peaceful. And because you can park your car so close, you can actually sit peacefully on the ledge and enjoy both the sound of the waves behind you and the look of your car in front of you.
To the untrained eye up front, this might even look like a Kodiaq.
And it does, or actually it will. And what I'm going to do now is stand here, put a line right here, put a line right here, and I want to speak between it. If you can get the gist of what I'm talking about, I can't really say much more. But coming back to the Kodiaq, just like the Octavia was an evolution of the last generation, sadly the Octavia current generation isn't really sold in India anymore, but will come back or might come back, fingers crossed, as a VRS or a diesel. This is an evolution of the last generation Kodiaq as well. But the big changes in any case are not up in the front, although I do quite like this little treatment. The big changes are actually at the rear.
And it looks cool. Those tail lamps are neat, modern touches. And I'm not a huge fan of the wheels, but I think they've held back purposely for when the Kodiaq RS finally comes to India.
Please bring the Kodiaq RS. Please bring the Kodiaq RS. Please bring the Kodiaq RS. What? Come on. I need a car to buy used about 5 or 6 years from now, which is going to be almost 300 horsepower when I put a little bit of a tune on it, and I can still throw in my family and all the luggage that comes with a wife and a daughter. Bit of a no-brainer, no? It's almost 6:30, which means I've spent almost 10.5 hours behind the wheel of the Kodiaq, which is more than enough time to sense what a car really feels like. And frankly, it's exactly what I thought it would be. It's these small little improvements, the several small improvements that it has over the last gen has made it such a fantastic product. And I always think that certain number of small improvements over a larger scale of things always makes more sense than one large improvement in just one field. And by the way, 10.5 hours and I don't feel tired. Also, I just realized you don't have to feel old now when you drive a Kodiaq, because that differentiator between the L and K and the Sport line is just so much smaller.
By now, you would have realized that the pricing for this is already out on social media. Well, considering the fact that it is what it is, it isn't really cheap. In fact, it is actually quite expensive. But then if you want a 7-seat SUV and you want a big 7-seat SUV, we think this is still a high IQ move. After nearly 11 hours in the car though, it was time for me to go to bed. Because even though this is a mild muncher and will go on forever and ever, I needed to recharge. That said, as always, see you guys in the comments.
All-wheel drive, little bit more power, little bit more planted. अरे क्यों हो रहा है यार? It's like it will give you all the excitement you want and then some. But what if you wanted? अरे
ये बोल रहे थे ना?
हाँ, वो अपहिल करते हैं.